On this video, we're going to talk about the power theorem. I don't know why they call it power theorem, but these are theorems about segments. Other books will give you theorems about segments or theorems about chords and segments and secants and tangents. But for us, let's use power theorem. According to the theorem, for a given point and circle, so in this case, let's identify the points. These are the points. Just going to highlight them. These are the points. Let's call this point P, point P, point P. Again, for a given point and circle, the product of the lengths of the whole segments from the point to the circle is constant along any line through the point and circle. Sige, let that sink in. So we have three cases here. The first case is where we have two chords intersecting inside the circle at point P. According to the theorem, the product of the lengths of the whole segments from a point to the circle is constant along any line through the point and circle. So the segment from point P to the circle, so we have, if we're going to consider this segment here, then we have this point, segment A and segment B. The product of that one, segment A and segment B, so that's A times B, is constant all throughout. So since we have another segment here, C times D. So that's the first case. For the second case, we have two secants. From this point, kung mapansin nyo, we have two segments na na-form, yung from this point up to this point. The other segment is from this point up to the other side. Pangit. Now, the product is constant kapag the product is the same, so it's equal if we get this segment times the other segment. Okay. So in that case, we have F times the whole thing, which is F plus E, is equivalent to H times the whole thing, which is H plus G. So that's for the second case. For the third case, we have a tangent and a secant. So ganun din, from point P, meron tayong, ito muna, kasi mas alam natin yung sa, sa secant eh. So this segment here times the whole segment here is equivalent to this segment, but this on this case, isa lang yung segment, no? So we have to multiply it to itself. So mangyayari, we have M, dun sa secant, M times the whole thing, which is M plus K, is equivalent to J times J, or J squared. Okay, so those are the three cases for the power theorem. Let's try to prove case number 1. For case number 1, we want to show that A times B, I'm going to prove that A times B equals C times D. So let's prove this informally. The first step is for us to create two triangles. Actually, the proof of the power theorems the proofs rely heavily on similar triangles or the concepts of similar triangles. So kailangan maka-form tayo ng similar triangles, and then using the concept of sides being proportional, so dun makukuha natin yung mapapalabas natin tong product na to. So in this case, let's form two triangles. So let's connect these two segments. Yeah, that's two segments. Now, if you'll notice, if we're going to give names for the points, let's say A, B, no, hindi pala pwedeng A, B. Let's use M, N, O, P, and Q. Okay, M, N, O, P, and Q. Now, we want to show that triangle MON is similar to triangle POQ. And to do that, if you'll notice, this angle over here is the same as this one because they are both similar. They are both inscribed angles intercepting arc and Q. So, 7 equal sila. On the other hand, equal din to. This angle over here and this angle over here are also the same because again they are inscribed angles intercepting arc MP. So ibig sabihin, by AA similarity, we have a triangle MON is similar to triangle POQ. Now alam natin yan kapag similar triangles, we know that segments are in proportion. So in this case, we have we can say that MO, segment MO over ON is equal to PO over OQ. MO in this case is A, ON is C, and PO is D, and what's this? OQ is B. Okay, if we cross multiply, we'll have A times B equals C times D. Okay, the proof of the other theorems will be the same. The other cases for the theorem will be the same. All you have to do is to look for the similar triangles. And we're going to do it sa class na lang. Let's have example number 1. For this case, we're going to look for X. Find the value of X. So we're going to apply the, the power theorem case number 1. From case number 1 of power theorem, we know that A times X is equivalent to 20 times 6. So to get the value of X, let's divide everything by 8. And thus we have X equals, paano yan? Simplify natin. This is 4 times 5. This is 4 times 2. Cancel natin yung 4. And then yung 6, cancel din natin yung 6. Maging 3 to, wala na yung 2. So therefore, it's 5 times 3, which is 15. So for example number 1, x is equal to 15. Let's have example number 2. Again, we're going to solve for the value of x. And in this case, we're going to use case number 2 of the power theorem. We have 2 secants here. So sabi doon, ito daw product ng labas times buo, yung buong segment. Equal lang daw yun sa ito din, sa labas. Constant daw all throughout, times buo. So for this case, we have 13 times the whole thing, 13 plus x, is equal to 11 times the whole thing, which is 31. We have 169 plus 13x, so I distributed 13, is equal to 11 times 31 is 341. And for this case, let's solve for x. 341 minus 169. We have 172. And let's divide everything by 13. So for this case, x is approximately, I think this is not exact, approximately 13.23. So the value of x is 13.23. Okay, let's have the third and final example for the power theorem. And in this case, we have going to solve for x and y. What's the value of x and what's the value of y? For the value of x and y, I think we can solve first for the value of x because we can use the tangent and secant combo for the power theorem. So we know that from case number 3 of the power theorem, the square of the length of the tangent segment, so we have 11 squared, is equal to the, of the labas times the buo. Okay, so in this case, the labas is 7. And then the buo will be 7 plus x plus 5. Am I correct? 7 plus x plus 5. Nga pala, I'm outside the school, kaya medyo maingay. So anyway, malinaw naman sana yung boses ko. So we have 121 equals 7 times, what is this? 12 plus x. So let's distribute 7. So we have, what's this? 84 plus 7x, and then let's solve for x. That's 121 minus 84. It's 37. So 7x equals 37. If we divide everything by 7, therefore x is equal to 37 over 7. So x is 37 over 7. So for this case, let's solve for y, and we're going to use case number 1 of the power theorem. So we have 2 segments over here. So it's 9 times y. So you have 9 times y, and then 5 times 37 over 7. Okay, so ito yun. Then we're going to solve for y. So y is equal to 5. Then let's divide everything by 9 na, no? 5 over 9 times 37 over 7. I hope hindi ka nalito kung bakit naging ganito itsura nun. Let's simplify. Actually, hindi siya na-simplify, no? Let's expand pala. Okay, it's 185 over 63, which is approximately 2.9. Yung isa pala, yung 37, para lang makita natin kung proportional, no? 37 over 7, that's approximately 2.3. So x is approximately 2.3 and y is approximately 2.9.